Hello there. In this video, I am going to be doing a very high level overview of Walt Disney World for someone who has never been there before and really doesn't know a whole lot of what's going on, just to give you a little bit of the scope.
I'm Christina. I'm a traveler, a planner, and most importantly, a mom. I'm sharing my best tips to make traveling as a family a little less stressful. So put down your phone, pack your bags, and let's showcase the world.
So, I am so glad you booked your vacation with me. Because you did, you don't have to worry about doing a ton of research in terms of what is at Walt Disney World and what is going to be the best fit for your family. I'm going to help you with that. But there's some terminology that I'll be using that I want to make sure that you are up to date on as well. So before we get going into the keywords, I do want to share. So Walt Disney World is 25,000 acres. That's 40 square miles. So to put that in perspective, that is twice the size of Manhattan. It's about the same size as San Francisco, but it's twice the size of Manhattan. Think about everything that there is to do in Manhattan and New York. And basically, that's what you have to do in Walt Disney World. So no matter how many times you go, you're never going to be able to do it all. And I am living proof of that. I have not done it all. And I don't think I will, because they're always changing, updating, all sorts of things. There's no way to really stay on top of it. Believe me, I try. I go 3 times a year. I try to do whatever's new, and it's just, I can't get to everything because they're doing so many new things all of the time. Plus all the old things they've already had. I've never been mini golfing at Walt Disney World. Yes, there's mini golfing at Walt Disney World. So just high levels, Walt Disney World is made up of 4 theme parks. You have Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Hollywood Studios, and Animal Kingdom. A lot of times I'll hear people say, I'd like to go to Disney and Epcot and Harry Potter. So just to give you a little bit of a differentiation, Magic Kingdom is what a lot of people call Disney. Disney World is all of it, but Magic Kingdom is what people think of. It's very similar to Disneyland in terms of it's the castle park, and you have its Small World, Pirates of the Caribbean, Jungle Cruise, all of those classics in the Magic Kingdom. In Epcot, you have the World Showcase and Future World. Usually those are pretty, people pretty much know that there's Disney and Epcot, right? Then there's also 2 other parks. There's Hollywood Studios, Disney's Hollywood Studios, which used to be called MGM Studios. It's now called Disney's Hollywood Studios. That's where you're going to find Star Wars Land and Toy Story Land. You are not going to find Harry Potter there. That's over at Universal. Universal is Disney's competitor. Universal is not included when I talk about Walt Disney World. It's about 20 minutes down the road. It's 2 separate theme parks and a whole different experience. So if you do want to go to Harry Potter World, we do have to get separate tickets. We cannot get a Disney ticket for Universal. So what we'll do usually, if you're planning on spending more time at Disney, is to stay at a Disney hotel, get the perks of that, and get a Disney ticket. Then if you're going to spend a day at Universal, you'll get a separate ticket for Universal. If you want to spend equal time, I would say change your resort halfway through so you get the perks of staying at Universal. It's very, very confusing. I hope you stayed with me on that one. But I did miss a park when I was talking about parks because I went off on the Universal tangent. There's also the Animal Kingdom. Its tagline, it's not just a zoo. There's theme park attractions there as well. It's my favorite park. I love Animal Kingdom. The beauty of Animal Kingdom is slowing down and exploring it. So just to go over that again quickly, Walt Disney World has 4 theme parks: Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Hollywood Studios, and Animal Kingdom. Universal Studios has 2 theme parks and a water park. So they have Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios, and that's where you're going to find Harry Potter. Walt Disney World also has 2 water parks, Blizzard Beach and Typhoon Lagoon. They have Disney Springs, which is the shopping and entertainment district. There's a lot of great food down there. My favorite restaurant on property is at Disney Springs. All sorts of shopping and other activities like a movie theater, a bowling alley, a hot air balloon, a virtual reality experience. So there's a lot to do even outside the theme parks, including at their 32 owned and operated resorts. So Disney owns 32 resorts on property. Their 40 square mile property. There's a few other resorts on there that are not Disney owned and operated. So like the Swan and Dolphin are on Disney property, but they're considered off-site resorts because they're not run by Disney. There's also a few in the Disney Springs area and then in the Bonnet Creek area that are technically on property, but not owned by Disney. Going back to the Disney resorts though, there are 32. They're separated by amenity category. You have value, moderate, and deluxe. There's also 200 places to get food, including 90 full-service restaurants. So full-service restaurants is where you are going to sit down. Full-service or table service, Disney calls them table service, but full-service restaurants are where you're going to be seated. They're going to give you a menu and a server is going to come and take your order. So that's a table service restaurant. A quick service restaurant is when you go up to a counter, you order, you wait for your food to be ready and you take that order away. Disney also has what they call fast casual, which is where you will place your order, you will go sit down, and then they'll bring the food to you. So you don't have to wait the counter for it. Like a counter service restaurant, it's called fast casual. If you are on the Disney dining plan, so we're getting into this terminology now. If you're on the Disney dining plan, which is a way to prepay for your food in advance, sometimes you save money, sometimes you don't. Definitely, I like it for the convenience, and I get it for most of my personal family trips. I don't necessarily get it for my work trips when I'm traveling by myself, but I do get it for my personal family trips because I do like the added convenience of prepaying for my meals and then not having to worry about the credit card bill after our trip. So I do like the Disney dining plan. I will have some videos coming out about exactly what is the dining plan, what are the options, all of that. But the Disney dining plan, also known as DDP, you'll see that, is a way to prepay for your meals, and they give you credits. So you'll have a table service credit, which is what we were talking about in terms of full service restaurants with the waitress, or I'm sorry, with the server. You'll have your quick service, which includes counter service and fast casual. You also get snack credits, and snack credits are throughout the parks and resorts. So 200 places to get food. You're never going to be hungry. One of my favorite things about Walt Disney World. If you did book your vacation with me, I will be sending you a Disney dining guide of those 90 full service restaurants with my thoughts on each. I'll also be sending personalized recommendations for you based on the quick 5-question form you filled out for me. In addition to that, there are 4 18-hole golf courses, 2 mini golf courses, 2 full service spas. I didn't count how many salons or health clubs there were because they kind of have varying levels of service, but there's also salons in addition to those 2 full service spas. Full marina with water sports. You can go parasailing, you can go fishing, you can go horseback riding, you can take archery lessons, and there's transportation provided throughout the whole resort. So if you're staying at a Disney resort, you have the option to take Disney's Magical Express. Disney's Magical Express is their airport transportation option. Pick you up at the airport and it will bring you to your resort. If you are going during COVID, they do not pick up your luggage, but if you are going, hopefully they will pick up your luggage and bring it to your resort for you. So all you have to do is you get to your resort, you can go to the parks and have fun, and your luggage will show up in your room a few hours later. There's also, I think I mentioned horseback riding and archery over at Fort Wilderness. All of the resorts have activities. So those 32 resorts, depending on the level you're staying at, if you're staying at a value, they're going to have some crafts. They're going to have some poolside games. If you're staying at one of the moderates, and Port Orleans has a wonderful live entertainment show, Yeehaw Bob. They also have paint nights. So if you do a paint night at home, they have them in Disney World. They have trivia nights. They have scavenger hunts. Just check your resort guide Or you can even enjoy a resort, some of the amenities at the resorts that you're not staying at. One of the things you can't do is you can't enjoy other people's pools, but you can enjoy some of their activities. So even if you're not staying at the Animal Kingdom Lodge, you can go and get the up close with a wilderness with one of the zookeepers to talk about the animals. So you can do those tours, you can do the crafts there, you just can't use their pool. They don't encourage pool hopping. So I talked about Magical Express. The other ways to get around, there is minivans, which basically is an Uber that has a guaranteed car seat. They're run by cast members, so you don't have to worry about who's picking you up like you would in another rideshare service like Uber or Lyft. It's a Disney cast member. It's a little bit more expensive, but very, very high quality. You're picked up in a van, a red minivan that has polka dots on it, hence why it's called a mini, M-I-N-N-I-E van. You have the monorail that brings you between the Magic Kingdom, the Transportation Ticket Center, and the resorts. You have the Skyliner, which brings you between Hollywood Studios, Epcot, and some of those resorts, and you have a bus system. The bus system is basically like the operations of a major city. So they do run every 20 minutes if they're going according to schedule. Obviously, there are some hiccups. Usually about once a trip, I'll have an issue with the bus not coming every 20 minutes, having to wait at the bus stop longer than anticipated. So always give yourself a little bit of extra time to get where you're going. There is no transportation directly from resort to resort. So if you do have a dining reservation at a resort and you're coming from where you're staying, you're gonna have to get a little creative and either take a bus to the theme park that is near the restaurant and take another form of transportation over, or you can take the bus to Disney Springs and get a bus from Disney Springs to the other resorts. So I will help you navigate all of that if you booked your trip with me, but that's just some of the things that are going on there. Memory Maker is Disney's photo package. So you'll see there's usually a little bit of confusion around Memory Maker and PhotoPass. PhotoPass are the photographers who take the pictures and the spots that those pictures are taken. The Memory Maker is the package that you buy that includes your PhotoPass photos. So we'll talk a little bit about that a little bit down the line if you booked your trip with me. If you're confused and have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Comment below if you're watching this on YouTube, or send me an email if you booked your vacation with me already. I will walk you through all of this, but I just wanted to give you a high-level overview of exactly what's at Walt Disney World, kind of set your expectations that you're not going to be able to do it all. I'm here to help you determine what's going to be best for your family to do for your first trip, and hopefully you'll fall in love with it as much as I did, and you will be back again and again to try some of these other amazing things. If you have any questions about any of the terminology that you see coming up, happy to answer that for you. One quick thing I did want to mention is FastPasses. FastPasses are free at Walt Disney World. They're included with your ticket. You can make up to 3 a day. I will explain all of that coming up. I will link to the video here if you're watching on YouTube. If you booked your trip with me, I will, you'll see some emails about FastPasses. They're included. You don't have to pay anything extra for them. So a little confusion around that because we did talk about Disney's competition at Universal Studios. They do charge extra for what is called an Express Pass. Their Express Pass you can use. There's different tiers and everything. Actually, I did a video on the difference between FastPass and Express Pass. I will link to that there if you have any questions around the differences between those two. Hopefully, I gave you an overview. You can understand a little bit better what's going on, and you will be seeing some more videos that overview each park coming from me soon. So look out in your inbox if you are already booked. If you haven't booked your vacation with me, hit the subscribe button and you will see some overviews of each of the parks coming up very soon. You'll be the first to know if you hit that bell. Thank you so much for joining me. Remember to take a break from the busy.
Need help planning your next family vacation? Visit us at showcasetheworld.com to request a quote or schedule a free vacation consultation. Want more great travel tips? You'll find those there too.